So the next is the Le-Chatelier's principle. If the reaction is in equilibrium and reactants are forming the products, products are forming the reactants, then seems like nothing is going on and our reaction is in equilibrium. But why do we do a reaction? We do a reaction to make products. We do not want products to start breaking and making reactants again. That's not the purpose of a reaction. So can you control the reaction, and if the reaction is in equilibrium, can you disturb the equilibrium so that you can form more products or you can make the reaction go in one particular direction? Yes. And that's what Le Chatelier's principle is about. It states that when a change is imposed upon a system, the system adjusts itself in such a way so as undo the effect of the imposed change. Reaction in the equilibrium is very stable uh, situation. Reaction loves to be in equilibrium because it looks like nothing is going on. So if you disturb the equilibrium by putting some stress, then the reaction doesn't like it and the reaction wants to get rid of that stress. So, and what are the type of stresses you can put on the reaction? The main three stresses that you can put are changing the concentration of reactants or products, increasing or decreasing the temperature, increasing or decreasing of the pressure. So, first we're going to discuss the concentration effect. So, let's say I'm going to take, and these are the two examples I'm going to take, nitrogen with oxygen to form nitric oxide and nitrogen with hydrogen to form ammonia. So let's say both the reactions are in equilibrium, reactants forming products, products forming reactants, and reaction is in equilibrium. So what you did, you put a stress on the reaction. What you did, you added a reactant. Let's say you added nitrogen, because nitrogen is a reactant, oxygen is a reactant. When you're adding nitrogen, that means N2 is your stressor. When you're adding nitrogen, then what happens, the system doesn't like it, so it wants to get rid of it. So that added nitrogen starts reacting with oxygen to form NO. That means you're forcing the reaction to go in the forward direction. And forward direction means your equilibrium favors the product. Products are on the right side. So by adding N2, you are shifting the reaction to the right and you're producing NO. That's the same thing. If you will add oxygen, you're adding the reactants, they will produce the product. What if you are adding NO? What is my NO? NO is a product. So if you're adding a product, means now you're going to make more reactants and your reactants are on the left side. So here I added NO. My stressor is NO. Now by adding this, it's going to start breaking down to produce this. Adding product, equilibrium favors the reactant. Your reaction shifts to the left, and what are you producing more? N2 and O2. You're adding extra amount, you can remove it too. For example, you have, let's say, you are removing O2. Your reaction is going on and you removed some of the O2. Your stressor is still O2. If you removed O2, you disturb the equilibrium and then the reaction wants to make O2. And where are you making O2? You're making O2 in the, you can make O2 by going in this direction. So if you are removing reactant, your equilibrium favors the reactant because now the reaction wants to make it. And your reactant are on the left side. And then what will you make? You will make N2 and O2. If you are removing NO, means you are removing the product. That means the equilibrium wants to make the product. So your stressor is NO. It wants to make the product, means it is shifting to the right, and then you're producing NO. So the point is, when the reaction is in equilibrium and you by adding or removing reactants or products, you can make the reaction move in one other particular direction. Similarly, what's the effect of the temperature? Now, to study the effect of the temperature, we need to know whether our reaction is endothermic or exothermic. And how will you know that? By looking at the delta H values. If I go back here, delta H is positive for this reaction, N2 plus O2, and delta H is negative for the second reaction. So delta H is positive for this reaction, delta H is negative for this. Delta H positive means the reaction is endothermic, and the delta H negative means the reaction is exothermic. So to study the effect of the temperature, you need to know whether the reaction is endothermic or exothermic, and that you will find out by looking at the delta H values. So here, and this is my reaction 1 and this is my reaction 2. So let's say what I'm doing in reaction 1, which is this, I'm increasing the temperature. So my stressor is temperature, which means heat. You're providing heat to increase the temperature. As long as it is temperature, it is always going to be heat. So reaction 1 is your endothermic. So you are here. If you are increasing the temperature, then in endothermic reactions, equilibrium favors the product. What is your product? NO. Product you're making, that means you're shifting to the right. And what are you producing more? NO. Look at this one. What are we doing here? We are taking reaction 2, which is this. And what am I doing? I am decreasing the temperature. So where am I now? I'm in the exothermic reaction and I'm decreasing the temperature. So first thing, I'm decreasing temperature means I'm here, and then I'm talking about this exothermic. And in exothermic reactions, when you decrease the temperature, equilibrium favors the product. Means right. And my product is, in this case, ammonia. So remember, what do we want to do? We want to make the product. So there are different things that we can do to make more products. The next is the effect of pressure. The pressure effect you will see only on the gaseous molecules. If you have solids, liquids, aqueous written in the reaction, pressure has no effect. Pressure has effect on the gaseous molecules. Then for the pressure effect, what you need to do is you need to know the number of moles of the gases on both sides. So we don't need to know the delta H values. What we need to know? The number of moles on both sides. So here, in this particular reaction, we have 1 plus 1, 2 moles of gases on the left side, 2 moles of gaseous products on the right side. In here, we have 4 moles of gases on the left side and 2 moles of gases on the product side. So let's look here. What are we doing here? Reaction 1, which is this, increase the pressure. Increasing the pressure, equilibrium favors the side that has fewer moles. But in reaction 1, I have same number of moles on both sides. That means pressure will have no effect. So my stressor is still pressure, but there will be no shift because I have equal number of moles on both sides. Look at second last thing, reaction 2, which is this, and I'm decreasing the pressure. So my stressor is pressure and I'm decreasing it, so now I'm here. Decreasing the pressure, equilibrium favors the side that has more moles. Where are your more moles? On the left side. That means you are moving to the left, means your shift is left. And what are you producing more on the product side? Sorry, on the reactant side you have nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas. This table will not be provided to you in the exam, but since I allow you the note card, you can have this information on your note card.